Hello everyone, how's it going? Good to see everyone here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here at the very first Behavior Binge Bonanza. If you don't know me, my name is Nick Ostosh. I've been a BCBA test prep instructor for almost 6-7 years now. Actually, yeah, about 6 years now. I've led hundreds, if not thousands, of students past the pass line for their BCBAs. Some students even scoring as low as 300, which are now BCBAs. So I've got a lot of experience teaching test prep. I'm so glad to have you guys here. It's amazing. We just started streaming. We've already got 48 viewers here. Again, we're trying a few new different things here. As you can tell, the stream might look a little different today. We spruced it up a little bit. It makes it a little bit prettier. We've also got our chat on stream now. So if you are watching this at a later time, you can kind of keep up with what is going on in the live chat as well. We also just recently enabled the option to get super chats onto this channel. So if you like an additional way to kind of give back, you are able to provide a super chat. If you do so, I will also allow you to come on a Zoom call with me, and then you can even come on stream and ask a question on stream. We can do like a mini lesson on stream for about 5 minutes or so if that sounds fun to you. Also, if you would like to receive the notes from this session, they will be available on the shop afterwards for just $5. I'll also be providing a feedback form later into the stream because I'd love to hear about what you guys think about this stream since we're trying a bunch of different and new things tonight. And so yeah, if you fill out that feedback form, you will also get those notes absolutely for free. So you don't even have to pay the $5 because I value your feedback. Anyway, if you've been to these streams before, you know that sometimes some giveaways happen. So a couple things before we get too deep into our content. This is the last week for the intro pricing for the BCBA mini mocks for mastery. We are officially at 1 month of these out now. We think we've worked out most, if not all, of the kinks. I'm not going to say all yet, but we think we've worked out most of the kinks here. So the mini mocks are pretty fire right now. There was just some issues with like some copy pasting with like the wrong feedback or some answers, but most of those have been fixed now. So you can get this is just $80 and you can get over 275 questions. It comes with a mini mock over each section, 2 mixed mini mocks, and then there's 2 more mini mocks coming very soon. You can also get the ultimate mock bundle, which comes with the mini mocks and the full mock exam, the Beat the Beast mock exam. People have been loving this mock exam. Just until tomorrow, this is on sale for just $100. So really good deal if you are looking for some questions. You can visit the Understanding Behavior shop. I will drop a link into that. And purchase those whenever. I will note, like, if we get some purchases during the stream, I'll probably be more likely to give away more stuff. So if you are a person with money to spend and want to kind of like give back, maybe purchase those during the stream would be an awesome time so that I can give back more to our community and for everybody here. All right, so people here that were here early got to drop a couple topics for review. So yeah, I'm very excited to go over these. Let me kind of just, this doesn't look as pretty, but let's move this screen over a little bit. And let's not open this. I'm sorry. Oh, like that was like my phone. Let's not open that on stream. And yeah, let's check it out. So here are the topics we're going to start off with. We're going to do a little bit of ethics. We're going to get into our brief FA and graphs. We'll do a little bit on OBM. Some of these are kind of like big categories, so we will just kind of like give brief overviews, but if you guys have more specific questions, we can also go over those in chat, so feel free to be active. I'll be in tune with chat as we go through. We'll get a little bit into measurement. We've done a measurement stream a few different times, so we'll just do a brief review on some of those things. And then indicators of trustworthy measurement. Basic contingencies is something I want to spend a little bit more time on today. And then extinction and extinction-induced variability. This is just going to start us off for today. And again, if you do want to prioritize one of your topics, then feel free to send it in a super chat and we can prioritize that. And if you want to come on to stream, then you are more than welcome to do that as well. Amazing. We have 60 people here already. I'm glad you guys are into the Saturday stream idea and into this new kind of format as well. So let's just hop right into it. So a little bit about ethics. I know like ethics overall is a really big topic, and there's a really wide variety of different situations that you can get into with ethics. Here are just like some tips that I'm going to give you guys to study ethics. First of all, it's just like be familiar with what is in the ethics code. I know it sounds really straightforward, but the only way that you are going to get better at ethics is if you know what is in there, so you can recognize the scenarios, because it's not just like see a word and then like get a definition, or like see a situation, okay, I know this is this. It's more about like seeing any kind of really broad situation and what are the issues here. And if you know like what to look for, and if you're familiar with the ethics code, it's going to make that a lot easier. So definitely be familiar with what is in the ethics code. As far as questions, like some questions may ask you like what section of the ethics code a particular part belongs to. So you don't need to, you do not need to memorize like any of the numbers in the code. So absolutely don't waste your time doing that, but you should know like, okay, well, if this is within like multiple, or like the item is like multiple relationships, then this is going to be like your responsibility as a professional. So know like where those things are categorized, for example. Another really good tip that I actually have been forgetting to mention to people while they're studying ethics recently is that you should be really familiar with the Van Houten et al. I think it's 89 article. And what this article is, it's the client's right to effective behavioral treatment. So super important here. This article, let me see if I can just find it for you guys real quick. Oh, sorry, it was 88. I had the year wrong. 1 year off. So Van Houten et al., the right to effective behavioral treatment. This is a crucial article. Here is the link. I'm going to throw it to you guys in chat. What's really nice is that this is just like a 4 or 5 page article. So let me throw this up here. Yeah, it's literally 4 pages, guys. Like, this is not like an article that you need to like spend like your whole Saturday trying to digest. This is a 4 page article, so definitely be familiar with it if you want to do well on the ethics portion. So again, this is a client's right to effective behavioral treatment. The 7 here are an individual has a right to a therapeutic environment, so an environment that's going to like nurture them in a healthy way. Individual has a right to services whose overriding goal is personal welfare. So that's really like getting into that social validity component, and that gets expanded here. So definitely read up on that. Individual has a right to treatment by a competent behavior analyst. So the behavior analyst should know what they're doing. Like, that's a basic client right. Absolutely. Individual has a right to programs that teach functional skills, so things that will help them in their natural environment. I got a couple more here. Individual has a right to behavioral assessment and ongoing evaluation. So getting that initial assessment and continuing that evaluation process, so they're not like stuck in the same goals, and ensure that they're making progress. Number 6 here, an individual has the right to the most effective treatment procedures available. So this is going to be like based off of our research, the things that are actually going to work fast. And then our last one, oh, I guess it is just 6. I thought there were 7. I think, no, yeah, 7 dimensions, 6 rights to effective behavioral treatment. So yeah, I put the link to the article in chat. Definitely check this one out if you haven't. It's a super crucial article. I'll even throw it into the notes too. So if you get those, you can check that out later. All right. Excellent. Well, that's all I'm going to talk about with ethics. It is a very lengthy task list item. There are a lot of questions. They actually upped it with the 5th edition that there's more ethics questions. I believe it gets upped again in the 6th edition. So the board is really like hammering in ethics, especially like if you're familiar with like some of like what's going on with ABA, like outside of ABA, like we don't have the best reputation. So I think it's probably a good thing that we up our ethical standards a little bit. Awesome. Yeah, good to see so many familiar faces here. So many people that have been like, oh, I keep wanting to come, but haven't been able to yet. So great to see y'all. Good to see you, Alyssa. Good to see you, Emily, Stephanie. Awesome, awesome. Cool beans. Okay, well, let's get into brief FAs and graphs. Well, let's see, do you guys want to do like a full FA breakdown, or do you want to just do like a little FA breakdown? So, give me either a full FA breakdown, or if we want to just do like a brief FA breakdown in chat right now, we'll go with the majority here. Yeah, we haven't done a full FA breakdown in a while. All right, we're a little bit mixed here. All right, looks like most people want the full breakdown. You know, I'm kind of feeling it. FAs are fun. I really like FAs. All right, well, let's go over FAs. We did a stream on these a while ago. So when Brian Iwata passed away, I believe that was maybe like, maybe 6-8 months ago. I guess it was a while ago now. But we did a stream where we did like the full day was on functional analyses and Brian Iwata's honor. So yeah, let's talk about the functional analysis. I think it's super fun. So the functional analysis, this is an experiment that determines the function of a behavior. Now, I've been actually like realizing that like people know like function or functions of behavior, but a lot of people when I ask like what is a function of behavior and not just like the types, like we all know like attention, tangible, escape, automatic, but what is a function of behavior? I want to see you guys in chat. Give me your best definition possible for a function of behavior. Super important term. What you guys got? All right, yeah, so Stephanie has reason for its occurrence. But what is the reason? Like, why do people do behavior? Okay, yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, the reason why. But what does that mean? Let's break that down a little bit more. Oh, I like where Morencio's going. All right, yeah, a lot of people saying, like, the reason why a behavior is occurring. Okay, like where Kaylee's going a little different. What is maintaining a behavior? Ooh. So, like, a lot of people are saying, like, the reason why a behavior occurs, but what is the #1 reason why any behavior occurs? Ooh, yeah, Patricia's on it. Yeah, Diana's on it. Perfect. Good to see you here, Diana. Cool, yeah, Natalie on the right track. Good to see you here. Awesome. Yeah, Emily, I like where you're going. Perfect. All right. So yeah, the function of a behavior refers to the past reinforcement that maintains a behavior. So kind of like the reinforcement that keeps the behavior going. And behavior does not occur without reinforcement. It is kind of like an important thing to know. It should be fairly obvious, but without a reinforcement contingency, behavior just stops. All right. So when we think about a functional analysis, I really like the allergy test metaphor. So in an allergy test, like the doctor will poke you with a bunch of different potential irritants and sees and observes like what your body reacts to. And so like, for example, like if you get poked with dog dander and you swell up, then you're allergic to dog dander. Or if you're like me and you're riding your bike and then get stung by a bee and then you get a really swollen belly for 2 days, it's kind of like that. So you get poked with an irritant, we see what reacts to it, and then let's say like we poked him with you got poked with the grass, you didn't react to that, so you'd be allergic to the dog dander but not allergic to the grass. A functional analysis is kind of similar. So in a functional analysis, we kind of like poke behavior with a bunch of different kinds of reinforcers and watch what it reacts to. And specifically, what we're looking at what it reacts to is like what it increases to. So, because that's what reinforcement does by definition, is that it increases behavior. So if we provide something as a consequence and the behavior increases, then we can know for sure that that thing is reinforcing. All right, well, our 73rd viewer just joined the stream, which means that we just broke another streaming record for concurrent viewers, and we're only 20 minutes into this stream. So, yeah, I think to start off the bonanza, let's start with something good. Let's give away a set of mini mocks. So this is an $80 value on the Understanding Behavior mini mocks for Mastery. And this is going up in price after tomorrow to $99. So huge value for whoever wins this. This will be the first of many giveaways. So let's get to it. Let's do everybody pick one number between 1 and 500. Only one number per person. If you go for a second number, you will be disqualified. And yeah, if you've already purchased these, please refrain from participating. And best of luck to everybody. I'm going to generate my number. I've got it. What's really nice about these mini mocks is that they have super thorough feedback for reviewing afterwards. Somebody said 666, good number, but it is between 1 and 500. All right, maybe 10, 15 more seconds for our first giveaway. I'm trying to see. I see somebody's pretty close. Oh, somebody's really close. Oh, I think I found our winner. Yeah, we're doing a giveaway for these mini mocks right now, Catherine. Throw in a number real quick, 1 to 500 if you want. I think I found our winner, though. All right. Our number was 405. We had Sandra G guess 403. So congratulations to Sandra G is our first winner of the mini mock package. And yeah, there will be more giveaways. So let me get this down. Sandra G, congratulations. Awesome. Well, stay tuned. Keep liking the video. Again, if we break more records on this, then we'll probably do more giveaways. So that'd be pretty cool. Remember, also, like if you want to purchase any of these products, and are you planning on purchasing any of these products, and I think like during the stream is a really good time to do so, because if we get some purchases, I'll probably be more generous and give out some more stuff. So keep that in mind as we keep going through this. All right. Perfect, perfect. So back to our functional analysis, we're talking about our allergy tests. So what we're doing is we're poking a behavior with a bunch of different reinforcers and see what does it increase to. All right. So in a functional analysis, we're often going to use an alternating treatments design. And in an alternating treatments design, just to recap really fast, we are rapidly alternating between our conditions. And to get a test for experimental control, we're going to compare the level of the test conditions with the level of the control condition. Okay, so we've got 5 different conditions in a functional analysis. Let's go ahead and label those. One of these conditions is actually optional. So if you want to label which one is optional as well, that could be pretty cool. What do you guys got? So our 5 different conditions in the functional analysis, what are they? Cool, yeah, some people saying tangible, play, escape, alone, attention. Actually, yeah, we had 5 different people get all 5 different ones right in a row. That was kind of fun. Cool, but yeah, if you want to keep going, I think the practice is worth it. Yeah, nice, Anne's got them. Who wants to label which one is optional too? We haven't done that yet. Nobody's done that yet. Good, yeah, Emily's got all 5. Lakea's got all 5. Oh my gosh, we got 75 people here. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Nice. Vivian and Stephanie. Yes, 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 yes. All right, let's label our conditions out. So we've got our attention. We've got our escape condition. We've got our ignore or alone condition. We've got our tangible condition. This is our optional one. We'll talk about that in a sec. And then lastly, we have play, which is our control condition. So the tangible, so when we're running a functional analysis, so like when designing a functional analysis, we base the conditions off of what was observed in the other components of our FBA. So, for example, if in our FBA we saw like, okay, every time homeboy cries, then mom says like, hey, you should stop crying, and like consoles him. Then in the attention condition, we're actually going to want to design it in a very similar way where we're actually going to have mom be the implementer and she would be the one providing attention if he cries. So kind of like the structure of a functional analysis. So in our test conditions, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a motivating operation for the reinforcer that we're testing. And then we're going to provide that reinforcer if the target behavior occurs. So that's kind of like the general theme of all of our test conditions. So if you like blank, you're like, oh shit, like how does the escape condition work again? You can think about that. So it creates an MO for escape, then we can provide escape if the behavior occurs. So let's go through that for, let's go through that for each of our test conditions, and then we'll talk about the control condition. So in the attention condition, what we're going to do to create that MO, we're going to like provide brief but quality attention before the session starts. And then we're also going to remove attention during the session. So they're going to have like that be attention deprived. Maybe in your FBA you saw like just being ignored is not enough, but if it's like 2 adults like having a conversation, like that diverted attention, you might set up your condition to be more like that. But either way, we're going to withhold that attention, and then if the target behavior occurs, if the target behavior occurs, then provide attention. And again, this attention is going to be based off of what you saw in the FBA. Cool, cool, cool. Now let's get into our escape condition. So first of all, let's talk about our motivating operation. So how do you think we were going to create a motivating operation for escape? While you guys are answering that, I'm going to circle back to one more thing, is that sometimes like in our conditions, we're also going to create abolishing operations for our other function. So in our attention condition, we have AO for demands because there are no demands, because if we were to provide demands, it'd be providing attention. And then for AO for tangibles, we're going to give them moderately preferred items. So really like what we want to see is that the attention overpowers like how cool the moderately preferred items are. We're not going to give them the iPad because like kid can just get sunk in the iPad and like doesn't care about attention anyway. All right, so back to our question. We were talking about the MO for the escape condition. Yeah, it looks like lots of people are on the right track. Nice to see you, Kaylee. So yeah, place demand. Good. Good. So yeah, what we're going to do is to create that MO, we're going to continuously provide demands. And with these, like, again, we're going to base it off of our FBA data. So maybe it's like the activities that are more likely to evoke this. So if it's like he's like really good at like his math flashcards and like there's usually like not any problems during the math flashcards, then like we're not going to use the math flashcards during the escape condition. But so we're going to use something that is more aversive to see like if this thing actually or if the escape is actually the thing that's reinforcing this behavior. Yeah, so potentially table time, like if table time is aversive, then this is something that we might use in this test specifically. Good. And then for the reinforcement, we're going to briefly remove those demands if the target behavior occurs. Yeah, Lillian has a good point here. She's saying like it's always confusing that in an FA we are reinforcing the target behavior when once we target the behaviors in sessions we would do the opposite and put them on extinction. So yeah, wouldn't it always put them on extinction? But yeah, typically like reducing the reinforcement for those behaviors is what we're doing. But yeah, like doing a functional analysis feels really awkward if you're not used to it because it's like the kid hits you and it's just like okay, yeah, you don't have to do the demands anymore. So it's just like totally against everything we've ever trained for. It feels really awkward. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Anna's asking, is this a limitation of the FA? So this is, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a limitation, but it is a risk of an FA. So risks of FAs. We are like intentionally evoking and reinforcing problem behavior. This is actually a really good point that I want to make here. Is that like some people say like, hey, if we have like self-injury, then we should never do a functional analysis. That's not quite true. Actually, for more severe or dangerous behavior, we are more likely to do a functional analysis, but we're going to be more like in a setting that's going to be equipped to do it. What we want to think is like how different, like how much are we increasing, or are we at risk of increasing the behavior over baseline levels? And this is important to think about, especially with like automatic and SIB. So if you like suspect that you have an automatic function for SIB, but you want to rule it out, like this may like evoke like more hitting themselves if that's our topography, for example. But think about like how much more is that over baseline levels? Like if they're already hitting themselves all day, like is it really going to be like that much worse if they hit themselves like 10 to 20 times more? Not necessarily. So like oftentimes like SIB is automatic. which means it's like occurring during like almost all conditions. So like the FA, if like the FA can get us closer to identifying a treatment, or like like an appropriate function-based treatment, then it's often worth the risk, because it's not like not that much of an increase. Is like less of an impacting factor than like getting the info we need to reduce this behavior effectively. So with anything that you do in behavior analysis, whether it's an assessment or a skill reduction like a skill program, either training or reduction, like there are risks and cost benefits to them all. So these are some of the risks of an FA, is that we could potentially evoke more of that behavior, but we always want to think about that in the context, like how much worse is this, and is this risk worth the benefit? So is it worth it to like have them to have like a couple days that might have more problem behavior and might be more unpleasant? Is that worth it to get a treatment that's going to like increase their quality of life permanently? So yeah, it really just depends. All right, let me catch up in chat a little bit. Yeah, going over the subtypes. We'll get to subtypes later. For sure, for sure. All right, so cool. Back to our escape condition. So the reinforcement, we're removing those demands if the target behavior does occur. Then we're going to have some AOs for our other functions as well. So we have an AO for attention that's kind of like built in automatically. It's like the demands provide like non-contingent attention. So so we can kind of like reduce the value of attention there, since they're already getting lots of attention. And then like usually we won't bother with anything for tangibles here, because we don't want them to like escape to the tangibles, to like prevent like escape from the tangibles, or like escape to the tangibles, because that could possibly like confuddle your data a little bit. It's like, is it the escape component, or does he just want to play with the toys? If we include the toys, like we are unable to differentiate between that, so that's why we keep it more pure escape and don't worry about that as much here. The ignore and alone condition is probably the weirdest. So in this one, our alone condition is like we just completely ignore the individual. And then in the ignore condition, you completely ignore the individual while you're in the same room as them. So very similar to run an alone condition. To run this, you need to be able to observe discreetly and safely. So usually like the way to do this is like a one-way mirror. So you can look through it, but they can't look out of it. So you can watch them, observe, make sure that they're being safe in there, and also measure the behavior. And then you don't have to be in there. Ignore condition, this is usually what you have to do, because most centers aren't equipped with a room with a one-way mirror that's padded and safe. So usually you're doing an ignore condition, and to run an ignore condition, like you also need to do this. So run this if you do not have a one-way mirror or a safe room. You would also have to run this if the target behavior requires another individual to engage in. And yeah, in both of these, like, there's no stimulation at all. Like, there's like no stimulation in the room. So think about the ignore condition. Like, an alone condition wouldn't work if we're looking at like punching somebody, because obviously to punch somebody there needs to be somebody in the room to punch. So you would have to run an ignore condition in that case instead of an alone condition. And then yeah, there's no stimulation in the room otherwise, so there's completely alone. So like this, like it can like help rule in or out automatic reinforcement. But just because data is, or like the level is high in the ignore or alone condition, does not confirm an automatic function. We'll get more into that. We'll look at some graphs later. Yeah, Jamie's asking, what did I mean by like running this if it requires another individual to engage in? So like aggression, for example, like you can't aggress against nobody, or like you can't punch somebody if nobody's there, for example. So you'd have to run ignore instead of alone. Hi there, Tamano. Welcome, welcome. All right, sweet. Well, we've even got Batman here. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Welcome, Batman. Okay, so that's our ignore alone condition. Again, it can help you indicate like if an automatic function is there, but it's not the only factor. Like just because we see it high level does not indicate that. So tangible condition, this is optional. And we only run this condition if our FBA indicates that this is a possible function. Yeah, Lillian's asking, ignore and alone are not the same. They're a little bit different, but you're never going to do both alone and ignore. Or very rarely would you do both alone and ignore. You'll do one or the other. So again, tangible, only run this if your FBA says like, yep, he sometimes gets stuff for engaging this behavior. Otherwise, you're going to skip this one entirely. You are at risk of like shaping up reinforcement. So like at risk of shaping up reinforcement if like this is not in the natural environment. So essentially, like, if you teach a kid, like, every time he hits you, he gets the iPad, then, yeah, like, this behavior is going to increase pretty quickly. He's going to keep hitting you to get the access to the iPad. And that might have not been, like, realistic or what's actually happening in the real environment. Cool, cool, cool. So, yeah, the tangible condition, what we're going to do to create that MO is very similar to the attention condition. We'll provide brief access to the item and then withhold the item. So you're like in the room with like the item in your hand. If the behavior occurs, we'll provide the item. So if we're looking at hitting, for example, kid hits you, and now you hand him the iPad. Know when you provide him the iPad, you don't say anything. So, like, again, we want to, like, we're trying to keep a really tightly controlled experiment here. So we don't want to provide attention and the tangible, because then that dual consequence could have a different effect than just the tangible. So only providing the tangible, so you're just kind of like hand them the iPad, don't look at them or do anything or say anything. And then to provide like an AO for attention, you can like talk to them or like talk to the client or provide NCR attention. And then for AO for escape, there's no demands here. So again, notice the main theme for all of our test conditions is that we're providing the reinforcer for the behavior. So whatever we're testing, we're providing the MO, and then we're providing the reinforcer for the behavior. So that's the theme for our test conditions. Our control condition is going to work a little bit differently. So a control condition is a comparison condition. And for the functional analysis, this is our play. Yeah, Jamie's asking what does AO stand for? That's abolishing operation, correct. So in our play condition, what we're going to do is we're going to provide AOs for all of our social reinforcers. So whenever we're setting up a play condition, I like to think about like we're setting up like the kid's paradise. So it's like blank's paradise. So it's like Jimmy's paradise. Like whenever like doing an FA, I'm like, all right, let's go set up Jimmy's paradise real quick. Yeah, essentially we're going to provide the AOs for all of our social functions. I want you guys to guess or tell me what are we going to do to provide those different AOs. So we have an AO for attention, we have an AO for escape, and we have an AO for tangibles. So yeah, if you want to take on one or more than one of these in your answers, I'd love to see them. Serena has a good question. What kind of data is taken? It really depends on the behavior. Oftentimes it's, I'd say like the most common data taken in a functional analysis is actually partial interval recording data. It's just like very versatile. Usually we'll do it in a smaller interval, like 10 to 15 second interval. Other than that, like you might use frequency, you might use duration. I would say rate is probably the second most common, but again, it really depends on the topography of the behavior. So again, the question up in chat right now is that our play condition provides 3 different abolishing operations, one for attention, escape, and tangibles. I'd like you to describe what each of those are. See, Diana here. Diana recently got an 81% on the Beat the Beast mock exam. We have a 100% pass rate for students that have gotten 80% on this mock exam. So yeah, Diana's about to pass her tests is what I'm saying. She does a money back guarantee on that. And you can see she was very brave in her answer. Got all 3 of those in the first answer. All right, I love it. Yeah, nice Lillian. Good. Yeah, Anna, I like where you're going. Nice Tina T. Actually, Tina T, that would be more like an establishing operation, I think. Cool. Yeah, Lillian, I like where you're going. Awesome. Who else wants to give this a go? So we're describing the 3 different AOs in a play condition. Yeah, Kaylee's asking, these 3 are social because somebody has to provide them. Yeah, absolutely. So somebody has to provide the attention, escape, and tangibles. Our ignore alone condition would be more testing that automatic function. But again, we'll look at data and patterns in a little bit. All right, I like the answers that came through. A little slow. I could use a few more, but I like. All right, now they're coming in. Now they're coming in. So yeah, for our AO attention, we're gonna provide constant quality attention. So as much as they want, and then make it like the type that they want as well. AO for escape, no demands. A lot of people got that. Very nice. And then our AO for tangibles that we're going to provide a non-contingent access to highly preferred items. Ow, 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 ow. So what's really nice is that like this is a good comparison condition because like it's designed to like reduce desire for any reinforcer that's not automatically produced. So let's talk a little about data analysis because this is going to tie in here. And I told you a little bit earlier that like with our ignore or alone condition, like just because we see high rates in that condition doesn't necessarily mean that we have an automatically maintained behavior. The best indicator actually is that if behavior occurs at high levels in the play condition, it's and all other conditions, this is the best indicator of an automatic function. So again, that's because we have suppressing things in place for all of our other reinforcers. So there's no reason to engage in any behavior here. So like the only possible explanation could be that there's something that we're not in control of that's automatically produced. And yeah, Serena's asking, are there no MOs for play? Yeah, no MOs here because we are trying to decrease everything. I haven't dropped the link yet for feedback. We'll drop it soonish. All right. Cool. Well, let's go on to data analysis for our functional analysis. So what we're looking for is that we want to compare the level of the test conditions to the level of the play condition. And essentially, if the test condition has a significantly higher level than the play condition, then the behavior has that function. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull up some graphs real quick. Probably just pull like some pretty basic ones. But let's take a look to get some visuals. So yeah, here is our first one. Pretty basic graph here. So we've got our 4 different conditions. Again, note that these are in an alternating treatments design. So we're rapidly alternating between our conditions. So like first session is attention, then we go to alone, then demand, then control. And yeah, so what we want to do is we want to look at the level of all of our different conditions. So again, to take the level, we want to draw a line that's horizontal kind of through the center of the data path. So I'm going to draw this one, I don't know, maybe like here or so. We're just estimating here. Now let's look at our different conditions. Again, that control condition is really important. So the control is the open circles. Well, that one might be like here. It looks like triangles are a little bit lower, like here. I'm going to do the control on a different line just so make that a little bit more clear, or a different color. So the green will be our control. The rest will be our test conditions. Let's check this one. So yeah, the rest of these are kind of like around the same level here, mostly a little bit lower than control. So again, to determine if we have a function of behavior, the comparisons that we want to make are between the control conditions and the test conditions. So we can see like between these two test conditions, like not really that much different. And they actually decrease from control, which is kind of weird. Kind of signals that like there might be a slight automatic function here. Now when we compare it to our attention condition, we can see how there's a huge difference. So what this means is that when attention was provided as the reinforcer, that it increased the behavior more than if there was an abolishing operation for attention in all other reinforcers. So that's what we're always doing our comparisons between. We are looking at the comparisons between the play and the test conditions. Let's look at a different one. All right, let me pull up this one here. So this one kind of has a similar pattern, but we actually like don't really have a strong differentiator. So again, we'll do our green in as control. So that's our open circles once more. And everything else is kind of just like bundled up, but like not really that different. All right, so I talked a bit about this. Tell me in chat, what is the best conclusion for the function of this behavior? Yeah, okay, Lillian's asking an interesting question. We'll get to subtypes in a little bit. But does this change if you're looking at latency, like how quickly it takes for them to engage in the target behavior? Yeah, I would say latency is really the only different one, where you would say shorter latencies are more likely to have the function than longer latencies. Because reinforcement is going to like decrease that latency. It's going to make the behavior occur faster, because that will mean more rate later. Good question. Kaylee's asking, if you're doing partial interval, each interval would be a different condition. No, each interval is like, think about it like a 10-second block. Does the behavior occur or not? So our data point here, this one is rapid tongue movements, percent of occurrence. I think this was probably partial interval recording. So they did percent of intervals that the behavior occurred in divided by total number of intervals. Yeah, really nice job here in chat. We have an automatic function here. So since the behavior is occurring in all of our different conditions, it's not very sensitive to reinforcement, then we can assume that that's automatically maintained, that there's something present that's maintaining it all the time. Good, good, good. All right, then this one, like, it was kind of interesting. It looks like they just did like an analog setting versus natural setting. Yeah, hard to know what they're doing there without the context, so we won't get too deep into that. Let's find a different one. You know what? I actually like wonder like if in one of these old streams we can find the functional analysis graphs. Maybe. Oh yeah, I think this one, there's some good graphs. So yeah, let's take a look at. Yeah, it looks like I've already kind of like marked these up a little bit. I really like this graph though. So let's check it out real quick. Let me erase some of the lines here. So this one, like, it does like seem like another fairly straightforward graph. So we have our play condition is near 0, and we have attention is pretty clearly higher than the rest of the conditions. But something really interesting is happening on this graph. So what we see is that when, like, at first, like, attention was kind of low. And sometimes, like, in a functional analysis, we need to kind of, like, have the behavior contact a little bit of reinforcement, like, to kind of, like, ramp it up before it actually, like, is going to do what it's going to do. So that kind of happened in this one. Is like they engaged in the behavior a little bit, they got attention, but it wasn't really until session 3 they're like kind of figured it out. Like, what is happening here? Now in this session 4 for attention, they like game on. I know how this works. I'm going to milk the attention. But what's really interesting is that as soon as you saw the behavior start to pick up a little bit in attention, we saw some of the behavior transfer to our ignore condition. And even look at this. So we had our 2 highest points on attention, and then we saw our highest point on attention, and then it just died off. Now, there's a couple different explanations for this one. One thing, this is actually a very common pattern that you'll see in this very particular circumstance. So what we had is we had attention maintained behavior, and we also ran an ignore condition instead of an alone condition. If you think about these 2 conditions, they actually feel really similar to each other, to the individual experiencing them. So both of them, they are in a room with another individual. That individual is ignoring them. There's really not much else going on. So they feel very similar to each other, to that individual. Now, this we could explain as a stimulus generalization effect. Now, since it felt the attention condition, it was reinforced, and it felt really similar to the ignore condition, we saw lots of this behavior transfer to the ignore condition as a stimulus generalization effect. This might be called overgeneralization because it was occurring in a context where it's not reinforced. So Diana is a very smart solution here. Again, she's guaranteed to pass her test. But she says to amp up those SDs. So yes, what you would want to do is you would want to make it more clear to the individual which condition they're experiencing. So something more saliently different between the different conditions. But again, this is a very common pattern and kind of cool to see. Bottom graph here, nothing really special going on, like automatic function, and it's pretty weak because they couldn't really evoke the behavior. Let's look at, I think, yeah, these are two different graphs here. Yeah, these ones are pretty straightforward. Like they just, like these all like have one that's like a pretty clear differentiator. So like tangible was very different, so we saw tangible was high. Attention was a little different, so this is like a weaker attention function, where we might say like this is a strong tangible function. Note again here on our y-axis, they're again using percentage of intervals with elopement. So again, percentage, partial interval really is the go-to data collection procedure for functional analyses. So yeah, usually going to be our partial interval or rate. Obviously, if it's a latency-based FA, then you're going to use latency. All right, let's move on from these graphs. Hopefully that was useful enough. Yeah, I think somebody asked about these analog versus natural settings. I'm not too sure what they really mean here. I think we'd have to look into the article a little bit more, which doesn't seem worth it right now. All right, let's talk a little bit about like subtypes of FAs, and then we're gonna move on from FAs because we've been talking about these for a while. All right, so the subtypes, we've got like our standard FA. Usually like this is going to be like 10 to 15 minute conditions. And then our brief FA, really the only difference between this is that we're going to do it in like 5 to 10 minute conditions, and we're usually going to do them all in one day as well. With our latency based FAs, what we're looking at is like we will create an MO for the function being tested, and then like if the behavior occurs, we reinforce it, or like we provide that consequence, for the behavior. And what we're looking at here is like lower latencies than control would mean that it's a more probable function. So like, for example, if we had like latency was 2 minutes in control and latency was 10 seconds in attention, then we would conclude that attention is a function of this behavior. We also have the PFA, which was renamed from the ISCA. The PFA stands for the practical functional analysis. And the old term was the interview, informed, synthesized contingency analysis. So clearly PFA is a better term. This is a newer FBA procedure developed from Hanley's lab. Essentially, like, it takes like these synthesized contingencies are essentially like multiple consequences occurring at once. And then essentially like they test if this synthesized contingency reinforces the behavior over a control. I am not an expert on the PFA. I haven't done like serious clinical work in several years, so I'm not really the person to ask about more details about this, but hopefully that gives you like a general overview of what that is. All right, let me catch up on chat a little bit. Lillian's got a couple questions. Can't the process of ignoring also make the learner engage in those attention-seeking behaviors more because they want to see what they will get them the attention? Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, like, if you can, usually running an alone condition is better than an ignore condition, because like just being there can like confound with the data quite a bit. For sure, for sure. Yeah, analog might be more about the test condition. We're talking about this graph. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, standard is like the basic FA. That's kind of like the procedures we talked about. And then like we're going to run that alternating treatment design within like these 10 to 15 minute conditions or so. Which example we're looking at there for Jamie? Sorry, I lost which one was our FA one. But essentially, like attention was higher than control. It wasn't lower. Yeah, we weren't looking at this one, I don't think. But yeah, if it is an attention function, attention is going to be higher than control. For the latency, sorry, yeah, for the latency one, this would be that if it's a shorter latency, that it would be more likely to be a function. So if you think about lower latency, it would mean like more opportunity for the behavior, which means increased rate, which means reinforcement. So yeah, shorter latencies would mean that we will also like end the session as soon as the behavior occurs, and then we reinforce it. So this session would literally be 15 seconds. Like we would provide the MO, or create the MO, we give them some free range, and then they engage the behavior 10 seconds later, we reinforce it, and then we end it. All right, we'll give you just a moment. I'm gonna run to the restroom, but this is great. Keep it up. We're gonna get a little bit into OBM next, and then we'll get into some measurement stuff. We're gonna can it for FAs. Maybe if you have like one more question, we'll get to it when I get back. But give me just literally like 1 or 2 minutes. I'll be right back. All right. I know, Jamie's like, Diana, spill your tricks. Diana's got it going on for sure. I've got good tricks too, guys. I've been doing this a while. Alrighty. Cool. So yeah, somebody mentioned they just want to talk a little bit about OBM. I'm not going to get too deep into it because it's not like the most test prep related, but definitely like a certain like something to be familiar with, and yeah, I think it's a really cool field. So I would encourage you, like if you're interested in OBM at all, that you go seek it out, because ABA kind of like needs to expand outside of autism. So like I'm trying to like plant the seed so you guys can do that a little bit better, or we can do that as a field a little bit better as a whole. I love Diana's tip here. So Diana, again, is going to pass her exam. She says, teach behavior analysis to your friends so she gets drunk and talks ABA. This is the way. I'm telling you. Like, just like switch your whole lens into ABA and you're going to learn this stuff. It's kind of like studying Spanish versus like going to Mexico. Like if you immerse yourself completely with the people and like only talk about it and like view the whole world with this lens, you're gonna learn it really fast. But if you only stick with the books and don't practice, don't talk it out a whole lot, your Spanish isn't gonna be as fluent, or like your behavior ease isn't gonna be as fluent. I love that. Um, all right, well let's get into OBM because OBM is cool. Stands for Organizational Behavior Management. There's a lot of things that go into OBM. So I would say like a lot of it is like our like people management. Um, and we also want to look at like systems analysis. And systems analysis actually has like a lot of like overlapping skills with business consulting. And if you want to make like really big money, then like business consulting is kind of the way to go. Business consulting with systems analysis. Like really good jobs, like good jobs start at like 100K plus salary with good benefits. And honestly like can climb to like 500K plus. And honestly, like this is like more than most BCBAs will ever make in an autism job, or in autism at all. So yeah, if you want to make big money, like you start like get into business management, organizational behavior management is definitely a great way to look at. Consulting is a really profitable field because when you're consulting, like you're not working with individuals who can throw you just like $100 or every once in a while. You're working with big businesses that can throw like tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time. So that's where the big money comes. And systems analysis is really cool. Essentially, like in systems analysis, like we like understand a business at different levels and find out where the kinks are. So the three main different levels of business are the organizational level, the process level, and the performer level. So this is going to be like your very broad scope, like everything that impacts the business. So this might be like things like legislature. This things might be like things your competitors do. It might be like what is on the market, things like that. Your process level, this is like how a specific task is completed within a business. And this has like the flow charts of like where a task goes from person to person and like inputs, outputs. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying lots of things right now. And then the performer level is really going at like what are the behavioral contingencies and environments that are affecting good or bad performance in individuals. People management is really interesting too, like learning like how to motivate people to work. Honestly, I wanted to get into this field like as like once I finished grad school, and then I like started looking. So my sister used to work at Google, and if you don't know like what Google is or like what Google's work life is like, it's like they have a whole department, a huge department called people operations. And they've designed crazy science data backed systems to like get people to work and be their most efficient possible. And honestly, like it was very interesting at first. I'm just like, wow, you can like create this really well-oiled machine using the science of behavior. And I'm like, wow, like at a certain point, like it's almost like kind of manipulative and kind of sad because like employees are like earning so much less than their CEOs, and like they're never satisfied, like they're never like happy with their position, like they always like urge to climb more, always urge to do more, work more. I'm like, wow, it's like doesn't really align with like how I believe people should live their lives. I believe people should have a lot of freedom. I believe in having a lot of free time. If work is what you get off on, then yeah, go work away. But I know for most people, Work really shouldn't be the highest priority in life, so I stepped away from people ops and operations. But I think it's very fascinating, especially like what some of these bigger companies are doing. And honestly, like it's not all bad because they do maintain a lot of happiness in the workplace. But I think like sometimes those goals can get mixed between like keeping worker happiness and treating them fairly and supporting them in the ways they want. But that's just my opinions. So yeah, a lot of it is like people management, learning how to motivate people to work. A lot of it is like building culture too. It's like building, which like it sounds like really like mentalistic. Where it's like we're building culture. Like, is this behavior analysis? Like, is that what we're talking about? But yeah, actually, is a big part of it. It's like setting like the whole vibe for the company and like the vibe between interactions and how happy or content people are at their job. Do people actually want to work? Are people excited to go to work, or do people like dread coming into work every day? And how can we shift that culture and shift that mentality across the whole workplace? So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I think it's very fascinating work. And honestly, you can make way more money than any autism practitioner could possibly make. But yeah, do a little research into this. Don't be afraid. Like one thing I would give you, like if you're interested in like applying for a job, like don't search for like behavior analysts or don't search for BCBA. Search for like consultants or like honestly like look into like jobs in like human resources either like that can has like some overlap with people management and people ops as well. But yeah, I think it's a really important position. I think it's important to get some of like our behavior brain minds into these positions. So I highly encourage it. But yeah, don't look for like behavior analysts. Look more for like consultant positions or like people expert or human resources and things like that. And you may not have all the skills you need at first, but fuck it, learn it. Like if you want to do something, like don't let not knowing like hold you back. Like I didn't know how to create a business. I didn't know how to like set all this stuff up. Like kind of just like here we go, and now we've got 75 people here watching on the stream, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the support, really. Okay, well let's Whoa, yeah, Shayla said she was going to go into animal behavior, like zoos, rescues, aquariums, SeaWorld. I love that. That is so cool. Yeah, Diana's asking, like, do you need to know, like, those details in the flow chart that you think? So, like, if you're a systems analysis person, you're the one creating these processes, or at least, like, understanding them. So, they might not have, like, clear processes, like, when you go into a business, like, how things work. You're the one that has to map this out, find out ways that you can do things more efficiently. I think it's a really fun job. I think I love puzzle solving like that. It also takes like a lot of people skills because like you're coming into a company and you're just like hopping in and want to change everything. Like usually that doesn't go so well. So you got to like work yourself in a little bit. So it does take a lot of people skills about that. Heck yeah. All right, a couple questions in chat. Let's see. Juliet's asking, if a company hires a BCBA to train their supervisors instead of their staff, is there a specific term to describe that type of training? Oh yeah, so like a BCBA solely to train like other BCBAs. Usually like that's going to be either like a center director or like a senior clinician kind of role. I used to work at Trumpet Behavioral Health. I think they just got bought out by Blue Sprig. But they had like, it was like behavior technician, then associate clinician, and then senior clinician. So like senior clinicians would supervise the clinicians and associate clinicians, and then they would take on like 2 or 3 cases themselves. So maybe something like that. Yeah, Jamie's asking, is there anything above a BT but not have a BCBA? That'd be the BCABA. Honestly, I don't recommend going for a BCABA. Maybe if you already have like the classes, like you went through like a behavioral psychology program and your classes mix, maybe do like 1 or 2 more, you could go for BCABA. But honestly, like most states, it's not worth it. Many states don't recognize the BCABA, so I'd probably just go for one or the other. Alrighty. Well, enough about OBM. I love the questions. I love the curiosity. But yeah, I would definitely like do some more research into OBM if you're interested. And don't limit your scope. Like, you can do anything with your credentials. For me, like, I kind of knew autism wasn't where I wanted to land long term. Like, even while I was in grad school. So I found a different route, and I would encourage you to explore that if you're kind of feeling in a similar boat. Don't feel like pigeon box into autism too hard. Alrighty. Well, yeah, we are a little bit over an hour into this stream, and it's still popping. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I am going to drop the feedback form, so if you would like to receive the notes from today's Behavior Binge Bonanza, you're more than welcome to fill out that feedback form. I'll post it a few more times throughout, so no need to rush to it right now, but keep it open. I'll send you the notes later if you're interested. Okie dokie, let's move ahead. We're gonna get into measurement. I think I'm just gonna give you guys like kind of like the brief down and dirty for measurement. Here we go. So a lot of people get measurement wrong, and I'm gonna give you all the tips that you need to nail it right meow. So when we're choosing a measurement procedure, so like actually let's talk about like why measurement is important first. Like measurement, it's important to like add objectivity into our observations and ensure like the changes that we think are happening are actually happening. The most important thing that we want to think about when choosing a measurement procedure the first one is measurement validity. Let's see in chat. Can you guys give me a definition of measurement validity? And we've talked about this a few times in stream before. What you guys got? Measurement validity. Measurement validity. That's also one of our indicators of trustworthy measurement. So if you're not used to seeing it like that, this might just be referred to validity. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, good answers coming through. Nice job, Big Fan. Yeah, Tamana, I like where you're going. And good. Yeah, Jamie on the right track. You can take that question mark off. Good. Yeah, Diana, I like where you're going. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, measurement validity is essentially like choose a measurement procedure. Here's how I like to phrase it, that captures a relevant dimension of the behavior that we'd like to change. So capture the relevant dimension of the behavior is what I really like to focus on. We'll underline that here. Capture relevant dimension. So like, so think about like what a question you can ask is like, if this thing changes, can I be sure that socially valid improvements occurred? We'll talk about examples and non-examples in a little bit. The other component of this is like the physical ability of your data collector. So the question you want to ask here is like, given all of their other responsibilities, can the data collector be reasonably expected to take accurate data? So think about like a parent. Like a parent's gonna be like, it's really difficult to take like continuous data, especially if it's like the whole day, because they might not be able to like observe their child the whole day. Like they have things to do. They've got a whole life on their own. So think about that. Same thing with like the teacher, like a teacher in the classroom, like they have 20 students to monitor, sometimes more. So they're not going to be able to like take data and keep constant eyes on your client just to solve one issue from your client. All right, so these are the two most important things. Let's talk about each of our measurement procedures. So we've got frequency and rate. Frequency is just the number of times a behavior occurs. And rate would be the number of times a behavior occurs over a single unit of time. So when I talk about like that single unit of time, we mean like the per day, per hour, per minute. We are not referring to like 10 times in 4 hours, for example. We always want to convert to single unit. So if we had data like 10 times in 4 hours, we can convert this to 2.5 in per hour. So we have that single unit there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this validity thing now. So if I have frequency, and let's say I'm working with a behavior like this homeboy, he tantrums, and sometimes his tantrums last like a minute, and sometimes his tantrums last an hour. So frequency, it might not be the best measurement procedure here. So for example, if I say that like, yeah, 4 instances of tantruming occurred, well, let's ask ourselves, is this valid? So the thing we need to ask ourselves, if this thing changes, can I be sure that socially valid improvements occurred? So if he had 4 tantrums, okay, that doesn't tell me, was it 4 minutes of tantruming or is it 4 hours of tantruming? So like it doesn't paint a very clear picture, so this isn't a very valid measurement. Now, if I were to report on duration, so if instead they said there was 2 hours of tantruming instead of 4 tantrums, this paints a much clearer picture about what actually happened, because I know what 2 hours of tantruming looks like, but 4 tantrums didn't tell me if that was 4 minutes or 4 hours. So in that case, for that behavior, duration would be a much more valid measurement than frequency, because it doesn't capture the relevant dimension that we are like to change here. So again, always referring back to these two things, this measurement validity being the most important. All right, so for frequency and rate, we'll talk about like the utility of these. So for both of these, we'll use for behaviors that last about the same amount of time between our instances. So that will also be for our rate. So that's what we really mean by like discrete. So instead of like, if you've been holding on to the rule, like discrete means that it has like a clear beginning and an end to the response, ditch that and adopt this new definition instead. So discrete means that like the behaviors last about the same amount of time between instances. So we think about like a punch, always like a half-second behavior. So that would be fit that category, and frequency and rate would be quality for it. And if we think about like a longer thing as well, so let's say like we are doing flashcards, and we are always doing like a 5-minute observation, like how many flashcards do you get correctly. And in that case, we can also use frequency there, because like the behavior lasts about the same amount of time, and like that observation is always like the same length as well. So frequency we can use when the observation period is always the same duration as well. And for rate, we'll use this when the observation periods are different from each other. So like, for example, if we had like sometimes a 2-hour or sometimes a 4-hour session, then we would want to use rate because it's going to like equalize that unit out and get us to that single unit. Yeah, a couple more things about frequency and rate. So we'll use frequency also when the total number of the behavior is more important than the speed of the behavior. And that'll be the opposite for our rate. So we'll use when the speed of the behavior is more relevant than the total number of the behavior. All right, so we did, I just added this exercise onto the measurement PowerPoint on our last run through on it. It actually ended up being a little bit trickier than I expected for students. So I'm going to pull it up once more. All right, here we go. So yeah, all these are either going to be frequency or rate. I want you to give me your best answers in chat. So first one, Donnie asks how many hot dogs you ate at the 4th of July party. So we're going to use frequency or rate. So focus on like total number or speed. Which one is more important? Cool. Answers looking good so far. Yeah, Serena, good answer there. All right, awesome. So yeah, this one is going to be frequency. So we're only concerned about that total number. We're not concerned about like how fast they were eaten. We were just concerned about the total number. How about this one? Joey Chestnut speed eats hot dogs in the eating competition. Should we use frequency or rate for this one? Somebody told me, like, I put this, like, I think we did this 2 days before 4th of July, and someone told me he was banned from the hot dog eating contest. So I'm like, that is the most un-American thing I've ever heard. Apparently he was banned for not eating the vegan, they were doing vegan hot dog eating. Or something like that. I'm like, yeah, this is America. Good Joey. All right. Yeah, nice job here. This one is going to be rate. So we're focused on that speed of eating, not just the total number here. Excelente. Next one, Heather wants to track instances of aggression across ABA sessions. Oh, no, he signed with the vegan hot dog company. Oh, no, that's even way worse. Okay, never mind. We're banning Joey Chestnut then. He signed with the vegan hot dogs? Oh, man. Oh, they did let him in. Oh, man. I'm not up to date on the hot dog drama. Oh, he held his own competition. Damn, he did the same number as the winner in half the time. Oh, he is a beast. Like, at like monster level. All right, nice job. This one is going to be rate. So across our sessions, like we can't guarantee that they're all going to be the same duration all the time. So we might as well just use rate. It's going to make everything easier and make our data comparable to each other. All right, how about this next one? Bethany wants to track how many flashcards she can accurately answer in 2 minutes. Rate or frequency? Love it, love it, love it. All right, we are a little little mix on this one. That happened last time too. Dun dun dun. Let's check it out. Our answer here is actually frequency. So the reason why this is frequency is that it's always going to be a 2-minute timing. So we can use frequency here because the total number, our data are comparable to each other because it's always within that 2 minute. It's only when that observation can vary in duration where we would need to use rate. Honestly, you could use either here, but frequency would work just fine. And we want to know total that she can answer in the 2 minutes. That's going to tell us more about the total number than the speed. So frequency is slightly better here. Good. Yeah, nice. So people got some rationales in there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Love to see it. I know that's a tricky one. All right, how about last one? Charlie wants to track spontaneous vocalizations across sessions for Billy. Yeah, for sure. Definitely something that could show up on the exam. Careful. Awesome. All right, yeah, this one is going to be rate as well. So across our sessions, again, we're just going to use rate to make things easier. Like, you never know, like, a kid's going to get sick and then, like, session's going to have to end early, or, like, they've got an appointment, they need us to end session early, so we may as well start with rate to get things flowing easily. All righty. Yeah, let's go back to the notes, actually. And we'll kind of speed run some of this other stuff. So for duration, this is the time from the beginning to the end of the behavior. And for duration, as far as like the utility, it's pretty straightforward. We'll use for behaviors that vary significantly in duration across episodes. So, like, for example, we talked about the kid earlier who tantrumed between, like, 1 minute and 1 hour per episode. So, duration painted a much clearer picture. We know what 2 hours of tantruming looks like. We don't know what 5 tantrums looks like. Is that 5 minutes or 5 hours? It's a pretty big range of what that could possibly be. All right, sweet. Well, we are more than 90 minutes into this stream now. Like, we haven't given away stuff in a bit. I think it's time. What do you guys think? Should we give away something? Yeah, I think so. Thank you for, we've got a couple purchases during the stream already. Thank you to the Kea and Tasha if you're still here. Love to see it. I will send you your mocks in just a little bit. But yeah, how about we give away a copy of the Beat the Beast mock exam. So if you have already taken this mock exam and you, if you do want another attempt, you're more than welcome to play again. But I'd really like to reserve this for people who are here right now who haven't taken it, preferably. So yeah, let's go ahead. We're gonna do same thing. We're going to do random 1 to 500. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. 1 to 500 for this exam. It's a good one. Also, if you get 80% or higher, there's a money back guarantee. So you'll get your price of free, absolutely 100% refunded for free. Ha 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 ha. I'm not even a dad, but I got dad jokes for days. Anyway, all right, I've got our number. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Okay. All right, this is wild. This is real wild here. So, Sandra apparently is just like a medium or something because Sandra Guess within one number of the thing once again. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna give Sandra both mock exams. She won the mock exam, the mini mock package earlier. I'm gonna give her this one too, but I'm also gonna pull one more number. So Sandra won both mocks. I'm gonna pull one more number for the Beat the Beast mock exam, so I'll do it live here. I know, Sandra, like, you can't make this stuff up, but congratulations, she just won $100 in mock exams today. And yeah, if you purchase the mock exam during the stream, I will send it to you right after the stream. Obviously a little busy right now. Let's go ahead, we're gonna do one more number. Let's see what we got. 422. Who is closest here? Okay, I see Noella 444. Oh, Anne 439. Anybody closer? I think Anne 439. Let's see, anybody closer? I think, oh wait, Karen. Oh yeah, Karen is closer. Yeah, Karen Morrison. All right, we're going to give it to Karen Morrison as our winner. Congratulations. Let me do, yeah, 439, that's 17 off, and Karen is only 11 off. So yeah, congratulations to Karen. All right, I've got your name down. Yeah, to claim your mock exam, sorry, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm glad Sandra's still here. You can email me at understandingbehaviorofficial@gmail.com after the stream, and I will send you your mocks your way. Awesome. Well, congratulations, everyone. Sandra is just killing it tonight. That is crazy. For the full mock exam, if you win it or purchase it, this is just one attempt and you can take it whenever. For the mini mock package, this you get 6 months access or 2 attempts on each mock. So whichever one you complete first, 6 months passes or 2 attempts. And then also, again, you can buy the ultimate mock bundle. Apparently it's not showing up on the homepage, but this is just $100 for both of these. So if you are interested in getting both products, make sure you get this package. I saw somebody purchase both of them. I will refund you the $20 difference for that. So no worries there. But yeah, this is a great deal, guys. This deal ends tomorrow. It's not coming back for a while, so get it. And then the mini mocks, the intro price is going up to $99 tomorrow as well. And yeah, this is like the best price that you'll get these for. So awesome. And congratulations to Sandra and Karen, absolutely killing it out there. All right, let's keep going with our measurement stuff. Throw these away. Okay. All right, let's talk about latency. So when we're talking about like the utility behind some of these, like it's kind of straightforward. So latency, this is the time from the onset of a stimulus to the start of a behavior. Note that I say stimulus instead of SD here. Stimulus is more inclusive of things like MOs, rules, prompts, etc. As far as like our utility, so we'll do this like we'll measure it like when behavior is occurring too quickly or too slowly after the onset of a stimulus. So, like, this would be, like, for example, you, like, pull the bacon out of the oven too fast. So you want to, like, higher latency before you, like, pull it out. Especially, like, in this heat, well, you don't want to, like, let all that hot air into your house or apartment. This could be, like, you're, like, if you're, like, starting a race too slowly. Or maybe you're just like responding to instructions too slowly. So yeah, anything like that, we'll use latency for to capture it. For our inner response time, this is the time between the end of one response and the beginning of the next. So for this one, like as far as like our utility, we'll often use it to set our interval-based procedures. So procedures like such as like NCR, DRL, DRO, anything like that can be really helpful here. There is like a connection with IRT and frequency. So we have like number of IRTs plus 1 equals frequency. You can kind of see that in like a little finger trick. We talked about this before if you've been on stream. But yeah, like pretend like each finger is like an instance of behavior. So our frequency is 4, and then there's 3 in between spots in there. So we take 3 plus 1, then we get 4. So our formula works pretty nicely. Yeah, let me catch up in chat real quick. Serena says IRT trips her up because one question used it from going from like one exercise to the next. Yeah, so like, yeah, like, so that would be like time between like the end of the one exercise and beginning of the next. I think that's pretty appropriate for IRT for sure. Yeah, Diana's asking, can I talk about inner trial interval and when the cycle begins or ends? So I think inner trial interval, it's been a while since I've thought about that. So that's like thinking about like DTT pacing. Honestly, like I don't really like basing goals off of like DTT pacing too much. Obviously, like there is such thing as too slow, but I think like there's also a thing as too fast, and I think it gets pushed a lot. So this is like, yeah, time between separate trials and learning studies. Let's see what it says here. Time between the consequence of a trial and the next stimulus. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So after the consequence of the previous trial and then the start of the next SD delivery, essentially, would be your inner trial interval. So once you time from reinforcement or finishing error correction to the start of the next trial. Cool. Yeah, Serena makes a good point. Like with latency and IRT, it can get tricky. Like, and it really depends. Like sometimes IRT, like they're going to be looking at so it's like time between responses of the same response class. And I guess you just need to be careful on how response classes are grouped. So in that example, Serena, it seemed like the response classes were like exercises versus like doing like chest press. So like the IRT of exercises might just be like from the end of one exercise to the next exercise. Or if you're doing IRT of chest presses only, then you're only looking at like the time between those sets in particular. So you really have to just be careful about like how they define the response classes. But yeah, IRT is going to be in the same response class, but that could be more narrow or more broad depending on how the question is phrased. Alrighty. Sweet. Yeah, and then let's get into percentage of occurrence. And then we'll also go into trial stick criterion. Yeah, so Serena's saying like that went from chest press to pull-ups or dips. So my point is that if they just assigned it as like what was the IRT between exercises, if that's what they asked, then that you would have to look at between each exercise. Where if you're like, if it only looked like what was the IRT between dips, then only the IRT between dips. Yeah. So just however they define it. All right. So for percentage of occurrence, what we're going to do here is we take the number of times that a behavior occurs and divide it by the number of opportunities for that behavior. So we'll use this as far as our utilities, like when the opportunity is highly relevant to the behavior occurring. So let's go like through an example of like a valid and invalid measurement of this. So let's just say like I got 175 questions correct on the BCBA exam. And be like, yeah, damn, Nick, that's great. 175, awesome. But then I tell you like new information is like I took the exam 8 times. Now it's like, oh, this is not impressive. So it's like 175 out of 175 equals very impressive. But like 175 out of 1,000 plus, not very impressive. So that's what makes percentage of occurrence a more valid measurement than just frequency alone. Trials to criterion. So this is just looking at like the number of trials or sessions that it takes to reach a certain criterion. So, yeah, essentially, like what we're looking at here is like you want to like look at the goal and how long did it take to meet the goal. So, as far as like utility, what this shows you is like how fast goals are accomplished, and you can compare this in a lot of different ways. So it might be like, depending on the skill, like some skills are learned faster than other skills. It might be depending on the method. So like this method might be faster than that method. Or, yeah, it kind of just depends. So look at your data. The trials criterion can be really important and can provide some useful insights on what is going to be learned fast and like what is going to be most effective. Cool. Alrighty. Well, nobody's actually taken me up on my coming up on the stream or super chat here. I'm not too sad about it, but I mean, if anyone wants to come hang out, the floor is still open for that. We'll get into our discontinuous measurements real quick. Are you guys still digging this? Are you guys still liking measurement? I know we've done measurement on a lot of presentations before. Is this still helpful, or do you guys want to move on? How are you feeling? I'm like a little measuremented out, to be honest, but I'll keep going if you guys want it. All right, there we go. Our first super chat ever. Big Fen, thank you for the $5 support. That's amazing. Love it. Yeah, if you're not invited to chat, no worries. Big Fen, you want to come on stream with us? Do you have a question to ask? Yeah. All right, well, Big Fan, if you want to come on stream, I'll put up a Zoom for you. And not anybody coming, because I'm not gonna let you in otherwise. All right. Well, it looks like people are ready to move on from measurement. I'm ready to move on from measurement too. So yeah, Big Fan, if you want to come on and ask something, you're more than welcome to. But otherwise, we're gonna move on to basic contingencies because that's one of my favorites. Cool. Yeah, and yeah, if you guys are like getting bored, like let me know. We'll switch it up. We want to make this fun. Okay, dokie. Let's get into basic contingencies. Yeah, I've actually got a cool PowerPoint that I want to go through some stuff here, and then we'll do a bunch of examples together. So basic contingencies, I think, is the most important topic on the entire exam. And the thing about this is that I think a lot of people overlook this topic sometimes. So they think it's really easy, and then they like don't take the right processes and get like a lot of errors wrong. So let's talk about basic contingencies. First of all, I really like this term, the law of effect. It states that the effects of our actions determine whether or not they will be repeated. So that's all about our ABC contingency. So antecedents, behaviors, consequences. Consequences are things that are produced directly by the behavior, and then our future effects. So what happens to that behavior in the future? Make sure you get a really good separation on the future effect from the consequence. These are a little bit difficult to break apart sometimes. Looking at stimuli and behavior. So a stimulus, this is my favorite definition, is that anything that can be perceived by the senses. A behavior, simple definition here, action of the organism that we're analyzing. What's really important when we're talking about our behavior contingencies is to keep our frame of reference very oriented. So, for example, when we're analyzing your behavior is actually a stimulus to me. And when we're analyzing my behavior is a stimulus to you. So keeping our frame of reference very oriented is super important for these behavioral contingencies. We've got our terms here. Yeah, can I make this smaller? Yeah, let me fix this screen here for sure. Thanks for pointing that out, Serena. Yeah, a little different from the notes. Sorry, new stream style today. We're still adapting. Appreciate all the feedback and patience here. Cool. That is changed. Perfect. Thanks for that feedback. I want these streams to look pretty too. So positive and negative, what I want you to be really oriented on is that it's not just something like added or removed, but when it's added or removed. So it's added or removed after the behavior. And when we think about behavioral contingencies, it's something produced by the behavior. It's a consequence produced by this behavior. And the stimulus change is what causes the behavior to change. So reinforcement, the behavior will increase. Punishment, the behavior will decrease. I think it's also really important to get these terms down, reinforcer versus reinforcement. So a reinforcer is just a stimulus. This increases the rate of the response that follows. And this differs from reinforcement, which is a relation between a behavior and a consequence. And obviously that also increases the rate of that response. So reinforcer, just the stimulus. So for example, like my water is a reinforcer. Reinforcement is a behavior resulting in a consequence, and the behavior increases or maintains in the future. So water versus drinking water, resulting in water in my mouth, and maintenance of that behavior in the future. All right. Yeah, we'll get into the details, Lillian. Hang tight. All right. So in this presentation, I'll be talking a lot about Skinner box examples. So in the Skinner box, this is like a basic arrangement. What you can see is that he's got a little lever here. That's the response that we're looking at. He also has a little food or water dispenser here. It's hard to tell in the video. And then he also has a light above his above the thing here. So that'll come into play later when we get into like discrimination stuff. So yeah, essentially rat presses the lever and then he immediately goes for the food. And he continues to press the lever and then consumes it there. Just getting like a show of hands, did anybody have Rat Lab in their master's program? I was really fortunate. I went to an in-person program at Western Michigan University, so not only did I get to take Rat Lab, I got to teach Rat Lab too, which was fun. This PowerPoint will not be attached to the session notes, unfortunately. All right. So in a Skinner box arrangement, sorry, I think I changed this one, but to show a different video. But we have no food, press the lever, and then he gets food. Here's just a couple tips for diagramming. This is one way to diagram and one way that I prefer because I think it makes things very simple and clear. But there are lots of ways to diagram different contingencies. But but yeah, just know that this is one style and just one personal preference. So for these, we want to look at related outcomes. So our antecedent and consequence are focusing on the same stimulus. So like we saw, like no food and then food was provided. Oftentimes they're going to be opposite of each other. So it's like things present, things not present, or the opposite. Our behavior must produce the consequence. So the behavior must directly produce the consequence. If it's just kind of coincidental, it's not necessarily reinforcement. We also need to make sure that the consequence affects the individual whose behavior we are analyzing. Yeah, sorry guys, I switched up the format a little bit. We'll take the notes off. If you want to purchase that, that would be for watching the recording later. But if you do provide feedback, then I will give you the notes for free. I kind of changed that last minute, so I apologize on that. So again, when we're looking at the consequences, the consequence must affect the individual whose behavior we are analyzing. So really important. We also, when we're looking at our consequences, we want to look at immediate outcomes. So our 60-second rule, if an outcome follows more than 60 seconds from the behavior, then some verbal behavior is actually required for the contingency to work. Last little rule for our contingency diagramming is that our future effect on behavior has to be the same behavior that we have diagrammed. So make sure we're keeping very oriented on that same behavior throughout. Looking back at our terms again, so we've got our positive reinforcement. So this is something being added that after the behavior that increases the behavior. Negative reinforcement is going to be a stimulus removed after the behavior that also increases the rate of the behavior. So with our positive reinforcement contingencies, the stimulus being added is typically going to be a preferred stimulus or a reinforcing stimulus. So we have the no water, press lever water, increases in the behavior. Now this is what this arrangement would look like, but if we were to run this, but we don't run these experiments in our rats as much anymore because we don't need to. But for our negative reinforcement, they have the aversive stimulus in the antecedent, the shock. They press a lever, and then that shock is removed. So this increases the lever pressing in the future. And again, notice with our negative reinforcement that the aversive stimulus is in the antecedent. Dan is asking, she thought it was 0 to 30 seconds for contingency shaped. It is 0 to 60, but the more immediate, the better. So like, honestly, like there's a huge drop off after like 5 seconds or so. So like the last 60 seconds just like tapers real slowly. Let's look at relatable ways to think about reinforcement. So positive reinforcement, when behavior results in cool things, we'll do it more. And then negative reinforcement, when behavior removes our uncool things, then we'll do it more. So like we like when bad things go away for. So we've got an original example time here. I'd love to see like some of your examples of positive or negative reinforcement. I'll start us off with a few different contingencies. And note all of these, we're going to see increases in the future rate of the behavior that we're targeting here. Let's go ahead and take a look-sees. I don't have I usually have Zoom shared here for my annotation tool. Like, where's the slides one? Let's see where it went. It's hiding on me. Because I want to draw on this. How about we'll switch back to chat we'll switch back to our notes for our examples. So what I want to see is we want to see positive and negative reinforcement contingency examples in this ABC format. So yeah, let's get positive reinforcement examples, negative reinforcement examples. So for me, I like to talk about my water a lot. So I have like no water in my mouth. I drink from my bottle. And now I've got water in my mouth. So note this is like a very direct consequence. Like I engage in this behavior and the consequence is immediately provided. This is what reinforces that behavior. And then we have our future effect is that like it increases or maintains my drinking from bottle in the future. All right, I want to see some more examples from you guys. So again, our positive reinforcement examples are going to be things producing our reinforcer, and then negative reinforcement will be removing an aversive stimulus. All right, yeah, so Anne's got one here. Yeah, Anne has worksheet is our antecedent. We engage in aggression as our behavior, and now that worksheet is removed. So no worksheet. Yeah, I think that's excellent. And what this is going to do is this going to increase the future rate of aggression. So we don't want that. We probably want to stop that. That ain't great. All right, nice. I'm loving all the examples. Keep it up, crew. Okay, so yeah, Diana's got I think like this antecedent would be like her kids are gone. So this might be like different from like our related outcomes one. So there's like no learning opportunities, study, and now we get hella learning opportunities. Sweet. And then yeah, I think that would like increase future rate of studying. And then especially when kids are gone. That makes it a little bit easier for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, Jamie says she took Excedrin this morning when I woke up with a headache. I will take it again in the future because the headache went away. Cool. So yeah, we'll have to diagram that one. So when we're diagramming, we always want to start on the behavior first. Like take Excedrin was the behavior. Note that like Excedrin, this was not a consequence. This was required to engage in the behavior. For our consequence here, this would be like the headache was removed. And then she had a headache in the antecedent. I think this probably will fail our 60-second test, but since we're rule-governed individuals here, we'll let it slide for now. Yeah, Diana, they might be your S delta depending on the contingency. Diana, I don't think they would be an S delta for this one because like studying still results in learning opportunities regardless. It might just be like whether it's interrupted or not. So I don't know. Maybe break it down a little bit more. Let's see what else we got. Shayla's got annoying seatbelt alarm going off. Annoying seatbelt alarm. We've got put on seatbelt, and then no alarm. Perfect. So yeah, this would like increase putting on the seatbelt. Works for me. I cannot stand that thing. Oh no, Lynch has a migraine. Oh, I'm sorry. My girl's got a migraine right now too. She's in rough shape. Alrighty. Let's see what else. Susan's got back hurts from sitting at desk staring at a computer all day. Go for a walk. Back doesn't hurt after walk. Okay, cool. I like that one. So yeah, we have like hurt back, go for a walk, and now like back less hurt. Perfect. And this would increase going for a walk. Yeah, really nice examples, everyone. I love it. Perfect, perfect. All right. Yeah, with lots of negative reinforcement here. Who wants to go for some positive reinforcement? And like not a praise example, like a cool example. All right. So Stephanie's got, daughter screaming. Or like, yeah, we would say like loud daughter screaming. We put in earplugs. And then there's no loud daughter screaming. At least that's perceived. She's probably still screaming. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, yeah, Lynch right on it. So yeah, kind of similar to our headache one. We have like taking migraine, take Tylenol. Hopefully no migraine. Cool. Teacher yelling at students. Student maintains the problem behavior. Okay, yeah. So, okay, so yeah, let's diagram this one. So we'd have, I think we're looking at the kids' behavior. Is that right, Big Fen? So yeah, if we look at the kids' behavior, so we have, yeah, if the kids are like causing trouble, and now the teacher yells, and this maintains the behavior, then yeah, absolutely. That's some good positive reinforcement. I like that. So our antecedent, just to stick with our related consequence there. And again, this is just for this format of diagramming. You'd say like no teacher yelling. Cool. Really nice examples. Yeah, Eileen was asking, when you buckle in the car to get rid of the annoying seatbelt alarm, is it avoidance or escape? So it'd be avoidance if you're not experienced, if it like hasn't gone off yet. It'd be escape if you're currently experiencing it. So like the avoidance behind the seatbelt alarm one, it's very similar. We'd have like our antecedents that like alarm will go off soon. We put in our seatbelt. And now our alarm will not go off soon. So very similar. Cool. All right, yeah, good examples. We'll leave it there for reinforcement and punishment. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. We'll go for we'll leave it there for positive and negative reinforcement. Now we're gonna get into positive and negative punishment. So again, same thing with the stimuli. So something either added or removed after the behavior. Punishment results in the decreases. One important rule to know is that if a behavior is being punished and it's still occurring, there must be reinforcement behind it. So behavior does not occur without reinforcement. If a behavior is occurring, there's some reinforcement. We should approach it. So in these, we'll also put our reinforcement contingencies for them. So like if the rat, when he presses the lever, he gets shocked, then he's going to see decreases in that pressing of the lever. But if we reinforce the behavior, then it might keep the behavior going a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Lily's asking like if it's multiply controlled. So think about like, that's why it's so important to understand each basic contingency, because almost nothing occurs in isolation. Like there's usually multiple things that happen with any kind of behavior. That's why I really like to think about concurrent contingencies, or like things that happen simultaneously with the behavior. So this would be an example of that, where there's something that's reinforcing it and there's something that's punishing it. And depending on like the motivating operations of, or like the current conditions of this particular rat, he might press the lever or he might not. So if he hasn't had water in 24 hours, like it might be worth to suffer the shock and still press the lever to get a drop of water. But if he's just like had a bunch of water, then like screw this. Like I'm not getting shocked over and over again to just get something I've just had. So it all depends, and that's why I think it's really important to understand these really basic building blocks, because if like things are gonna pile up and it's gonna get more complex as we expand our analyses. All right. Well, my voice is not doing great, but we'll get through some more for sure. Let's look at negative punishment now. So now this is going to be the removal of a reinforcing stimulus. So kind of makes sense. Like when we lose our cool stuff after our behavior, we're going to do it less frequently. So again, this might depend on the rat's MOs and current context. So he loses the food bowl, but he also gains the water for this. For an example, from Ale Santa Maria, my son was crying to have access to his phone. Give him his phone and he stops crying. So this is negative reinforcement because because he stops crying. Yeah, for sure. Because crying, give the phone, not crying, reinforces you giving the phone. Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna run to the restroom real fast. Just think about it again. We have the reinforcer and the antecedent. Here are the relatable ways you guys can digest these. I'll be right back. All right. So yeah, looking at these one more time, positive punishment, if our behavior results in uncool things, we'll do it less. Negative punishment, if behavior removes our cool things, we'll also do it less. So like we don't like when we get bad things. We don't like when our cool things are taken away. We got a question here. Planned ignoring. I know it's a timeout procedure. Planned ignoring is not a timed out procedure. Planned ignoring is often just extinction. Oh no! Oh, my camera went off. Hi. There you guys are. There you guys are. You can see me again. I'd have to look at that one. I don't think that's a very I don't think planned ignoring is commonly referred to as that. Honestly, like planned ignoring and extinction are not really the best like go-to procedures to use anymore. Like DRA without extinction is actually a lot more potent than DRA with extinction. But let's not we're getting into right now, so we'll save that for a different time. Yeah, again, planned ignoring would only be used for attention maintained behavior. Yeah, that's correct. Because that would be the only form of attention extinction. Yep. Okay. Well, let's get into some original examples for punishment now. So yeah, we'll go back to our thing over here for that. So we'll do positive and negative punishment. So remember, positive punishment is going to be aversive stimulus presented after behavior. And then with our negative punishment, we're going to see our preferred stimulus removed after the behavior. So let's see some examples. What do you guys got? Let's see. For positive punishment, I'm trying to think like what are some stupid things I've done recently. So like whenever I like turn the blender on, it's like really loud. If like my girlfriend's is around, then this decreases a lot because like sometimes it kind of like overstimulates her a little bit. So this would like decrease my turning the blender on when she's around because that like the loud noises are punishing for my behavior. I guess it would more be like, I guess the more like this would be like the consequence would be like scared girlfriend or like no scared girlfriend and not like scared. That's not probably a bad term, but yeah, I think you guys get the point. So saying speeding ticket. Remember, we're talking about contingencies here. I need behavior, consequence, future effect for all of these. All right, let's see. Stephanie's got boy is jumping on the couch. He falls off, gets hurt. Now he doesn't jump on the couch anymore. Yeah, I think that works. So yeah, jump on the couch. You'd fall and get hurt. Then our antecedent would just be the opposite. So not fallen or hurt. And then this would decrease that behavior. Cool. What else do we have here? Alarm clock going off decreases by hitting snooze button because I don't want to hear them going off again. What's the behavior in that one, Lillian? Just hitting the snooze button? So you'd have to look at like a direct consequence of hitting the snooze button. Let's look at a different one. Is it punishing if you no longer do it in front of others, but you still continue to do it in private? Ooh, that's a really good question, Serena. And actually, that's like one of the unwanted effects of punishment is that like it like usually just decreases the behavior like when the people are or like when the punisher is present and doesn't necessarily like have very permeable effects. I think the most classic example of this is with like the cop and speeding ticket. So we may as well just diagram it. So no speeding ticket. And then our behavior, we speed. And now we have a speeding ticket. So like what this would do is like it decreases the future rate of speeding, but under the context when there is a cop present. So what happens is that like this becomes a discriminated contingency. So with our SD is that there's like a cop nearby. And now this is our contingency. And if with our S delta it would be our cop is not nearby. And this would result in no speeding ticket. So what this would do, again, it decreases when there is a cop present, but the recovery from punishment here, we'll get to that in a minute, increases the future rate of speeding when there is no cop present because it's not being punished. So yeah, this like Skinner pointed this out in one of his very early books is that like when you use punishment alone, it only teaches the people to do it like not in front of the person punishing. So I think that rings true in a lot of different examples for sure. Let's see what else we got here. So yeah, Jamie, that one might be a little bit tricky with the shoelace example. So I don't think it quite works because like thinking about like the behavior is falling. So like the consequence would be like you get hurt. So like the only thing that this changes is like it will like decrease rate of falling, but it would like also like fix that context. So if it's like if it was only that you like, or let's say like the behavior instead is like walk, then you get hurt. So this might also like end up being a discriminated one where it's like shoes are tied and S delta, or sorry, shoes are untied for our SD. And then shoes are tied for our S delta. So, and then when we look at our behavior of like just tying our shoes, so like shoes not tied, our behavior tie shoes, and now the shoes are tied. All this does is like it eliminates an SD for punishment. So this might actually be like a negative reinforcement, or positive reinforcement depending on how you frame it. But yeah, I think we need to break that down a little bit more and see like what are the direct results of each behavior. So like walking results in getting hurt because if your shoes aren't tied. But if you tie your shoes, it just results in tied shoes. So yeah, make sure you're staying really focused on that behavior for the whole like frame of reference for these. All right, let's see what else we got. You miss work often, less money to pay bills. You don't miss work as often. I mean, I don't see a behavior there. So like missing work, like dead men are really good at missing work. Yeah, Lillian, like turning the alarm off versus hitting snooze. Okay. Oh, so like if you hit snooze, it's gonna ring again. So that might be like differential punishment of two different behaviors. It's a kind of weird one. Let's see what else we got. Michelle, get burned for when I tough the handle without mitten. Yeah, for sure. So like, that's a good one to like grab pot without mitten. And this will result in a burn. And then when you think at like this, the future effect here, it's like decreases the like grabbing pot without mitten in the future. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of examples. I'm not sure if I can get to all of them. Positive punishment. How many we got negative punishment here? I'm gonna search for negative punishment. Finding a new recipe, cook the meal, negative feedback, decrease cooking. Oh, okay, so yeah, like cook the meal. Okay, cook new meal. And then you get like bad feedback. So that would decrease cooking. New shit. Cool, I like it. Who's got negative? Anybody? Ooh, someone got pulled over in a speed trap. Ooh. Who's got a negative one? Anybody? Teacher yells at student, decreased behavior. Aw. All right, well, no more positive punishment. We're taking negative punishment only examples. I'll give you one of my classics. So we're like talking to some cute girls and we're like make fart jokes. And now like there's no cute girls. Rip. They're not the ones I want anyway. Good cute girls gotta love fart jokes. So like if this like decreased future rate making fart jokes in the future, then that would be our negative punishment. Big Fen's asking, how do you explain voting for people who keep voting when their elected leaders are not getting elected? I would call that a very resistant to extinction. So like either it's on like a very thin reinforcement schedule. We can also explain it like as a rule governed thing. It's like there's all that like propaganda, like my vote matters. I mean, like probably for good. I believe in voting, like, but there's a lot of that. It's probably just like holding to that firm belief, like their vote matters, kind of thing. Increases the value of that, despite extinction. All right, well, let's see what we got. Trisha, negative punishment, take toy away from child after fighting with sibling over it, decreases fighting in the future. Ooh, good. So yeah, behavior, fight with sibling over toy. We can say like the cool toy in the mix. And then our consequence would be like our cool toy is not in the mix. So this would decrease fighting. Sweet. Yeah, really nice example there, Trisha. What else we got? All right, Noelia's got an example. Needs some help breaking it down. Okay, your boss is nagging at you to turn in your report while you're on vacation. You turn in part of the report while you're on vacation, and the nagging stops. So yeah, I think that would probably be our negative reinforcement. So it's like you've got a nagging boss. You turn in a report. And now you have no nagging boss. That's definitely the behavior I put on Extinction. I'm like, fuck you, boss. I'm doing whatever else and not do this report. I see a negative reinforcement. Let's see what else you got. Child cursing. Dad turns off TV. Child stops cursing. Okay. So we've got our TV is on. The kid curses. Our consequence, TV off. And this one decreases cursing in the future. Awesome. Love it. Good one, Tina. Who else we got? Serena, I don't see a behavior there. All right. Cool, cool, cool. I think we're going to move on from examples. Yeah, hopefully these were helpful. Let's get back into our PowerPoint. We're probably going to go another like 20, 30 minutes or so. We'll see. But I'm like losing a little bit of energy here, to be honest. But this has been like an absolutely amazing stream. Thank you guys so much for coming to the Behavior Binge Bonanza. If you would like to receive the notes from this, you are welcome to fill out the feedback form. If you're watching this at a later time, you can buy them on the shop for just $5 too. If we get like another mock sale or two during this, we'll definitely give away. Let's say if somebody buys a mini mock package before the stream ends, we'll give away another mini mock package before the stream ends. So this is on you guys. We have a dependent group contingency here. One hero can unlock it for the whole group for a giveaway. So we'll see. Alrighty. Oh, Richard's going for it. Wait, I think it's in. Yep. All right, Richard went for it. Well, I'm a man of my word. We do things fast here. Let's go ahead and give away another mini mock package. Thank you so much, Richard. That's awesome. So yeah, good things happen. I mean, that's like might not be the end of it. But yeah, we're gonna give away another mini mock package. Let's pull this up here. So again, we've got the intro pricing for the mini mocks for mastery. This is the last week. Sale goes off tomorrow. You can still buy it tomorrow, but at midnight tomorrow it goes off. The mini mocks, one mini mock over each section, 2 mixed mini mocks. There's also a second mini mock coming for G soon, and a third mixed mini mock coming next week. So stay tuned for that. Let's see those numbers, 1 to 500. We'll do it again. Thank you guys for being here towards the end of the stream. No worries, Gabby. Best of luck to you. Love it. Thanks, Richard. Appreciate all your support. All right, I haven't generated my number yet. Let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, I got it. It's a good one. Sandra, just put a number in anyway. I just want to see if you're gonna get it right. Yeah, Sandra already won everything, which is awesome. I love to give back. All right, Sandra did not win again. Alrighty. Okay, our number that was chosen was 400. I think that makes Patricia actually last second there got our closest one at 412. Tina was really close at 415. I think that she is the closest though. Let me just confirm. Yeah, congratulations to Patricia G. Won our mini mock package. Excellent, congratulations. Like I said, I mean, like, you never know what's gonna happen on Understanding Behavior live stream. We might give away more stuff. We've already given away $220 worth of materials today, so absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. Congrats to Patricia. All right. Last thing we're going to talk about with our basic contingencies, and then I think we're probably going to wrap up for the day, is extinction and recovery. So what happens when contingencies stop? Actually, we'll do some practice questions too. So stay tuned for those practice questions. There'll be some pretty fun ones. Extinction, this is stopping of a previous reinforcement contingency, resulting in a decreased future rate of behavior after a short burst. And then recovery from punishment. I like to think about it as like extinction for punishment, probably a little bit less familiar term for you. This is when we stop a previous punishment for contingency, and this results in an increased future rate of that behavior back to our baseline levels. So essentially, like when we turn a contingency off, the opposite effect will occur. So we turn reinforcement off, behavior decreases. We turn punishment off, and the behavior increases. That's how I like to think about it. So when contingency stop, opposite effect occurs. Here would be our positive reinforcement extinction. So just that reinforcer is no longer being provided. And again, that would decrease the rate of the behavior in the future. And then we have our negative reinforcement extinction. So this is when that aversive stimulus stays in place despite of the behavior occurring. What we have here is that shock, press lever, no shock. So that shock continues even though like they press the lever, and that behavior is going to decrease eventually. So note with our extinction contingencies that we have no change in the antecedents and the consequence. They're exactly the same. No water, shock, and shock. That's why I like this way of diagramming. It helps you see if there's a change happening or not. Recovery from punishment. So this is that the punisher is no longer provided, and this will increase the future rate of the behavior. So if we stop shocking the rat for pressing the lever, then we're going to see more of the lever pressing. And sorry, this should say recovery from punishment here. So negative recovery from punishment. This would be that the food is no longer removed when the behavior occurs. Perfect. All right, we'll skip our original examples. This is the real good stuff. So this is a process for answering your basic contingency questions. First, always identify the behavior of interest first. Then you want to look at what stimulus changes result of that behavior. So again, we're looking at direct outcome of the behavior. So was something added, removed, or no change, we can plug it in. What happens to the future rate of that same behavior, increase or decrease future rate, and then we're going to plug all of our info in. So yeah, I'm actually going to screenshot this for you guys, and I'll put this into the notes as well, because I think it's a pretty important graphic to have. Feel free to grab a screenshot now if you would like to, but I'll throw that in the notes. All right, and then yeah, back to this. So let's get into some questions. Woo, all right, Dora bought the mini mocks too. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, really. Okay, we've got some scenarios, and then we're gonna tidy things up. I do another giveaway at the end. So thanks for being here. Let's stick through it. So scenario 1 here. Richard is sensitive to sounds in his environment. Whenever he is in a loud area, he grabs the earplugs out of his pocket and puts them in his ears, reducing the noise that he experiences. What kind of contingency controls Richard's behavior of putting in his earplugs? What do you guys got? So again, for that process, is something added, removed, or no change? Did the behavior increase, decrease, or maintain? And plug it all in. Yeah, seriously, big shout out to everybody who's made purchases during this stream. You guys help keep me going and help keep my bank account afloat too. So thanks to Lakea, Tasha, Richard, and Dora. Your support is it means so much, honestly. Not only that, but I think I'm really proud of these materials. I think they are a really killer value, and I think if you give them a shot, you're really gonna enjoy them and learn quite a bit. All right, a lot of people saying B, negative reinforcement. I want to see more rationales. I really like the rationales. Lillian's up here with the rationales. Serena too. Good. All right, so yes, this one is going to be our negative reinforcement. So our contingency that we have is that we have loud sounds, we put in the earplugs, and now we have no loud sounds. I know, Lillian, we're going to figure out your tech issues, I promise. Good, I love these. All right, let's check out scenario number 2. Pat enjoys singing loudly in his apartment. When he does so, his neighbors occasionally knock on the walls, which has gotten annoying neighbors to stop in the past. Despite hearing them, Pat continues to sing loudly. What kind of condition is currently affecting the neighbor's behavior? Oh, this is where it gets tricky. Yeah, I like attention extinction way better than planned ignoring too. Because I think like with planned ignoring, it's just like, oh, we're ignoring the individual. Where like attention extinction is like, no, we're just not providing attention to this behavior. I've always preferred that term. But honestly, like I mentioned earlier, I think extinction is way overused in our field. I think we don't respect like how aversive it is, and that it can be pretty ineffective in a lot of situations. So yeah. All right, this is a tricky one. I'm glad you guys are taking your time. Make sure you diagram these out. I'd love to see some rationales. Serena bought the mini mics too. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is amazing, guys. Thank you so much, really. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, extinction. We can just do better. I think we're just as a field, like, we can do a lot better. All right. Yeah, this one's taking a little bit longer. Again, there's a lot of moving parts here. I'm loving to see a couple rationales up here. Yeah, Diana. Beautiful rationale. And too, looks good. Good. Yeah, nice explanation there, Lillian. Yeah, it's a big fan. Think about like the past history of that behavior. What used to happen as a result of that behavior, and now what's happening? Yeah, for sure. Keep it like with these basic contingency questions, keep it basic, keep it simple, break everything down piece by piece, and it will become a lot clearer. I don't know why there's not letting me like annotate on. Oh, wait. Yeah, here, I can annotate on slides now. Cool. All right, so answer for this one is going to be E, extinction. I'd love to see all of the rationales coming through. So here's what happened is that previously we had negative reinforcement. So we had loud neighbor. Then we knock. Sorry, this is terrible. And now no loud neighbor. And now what happens is that Pat is continuing to sing even though they are knocking. So even though they are knocking, we still have our loud neighbor. And we had our loud neighbor in our antecedent as well. So what we see is no change, that the aversive stimulus continues to remain present despite the behavior occurring. So this one is going to be negative reinforcement extinction. Tricky, tricky. You saw some really good rationales in there, though. So yeah, stick with the process and you'll get there. Keep practicing. Bailey and Terry are getting dialed up for a party. Terry picks out a dress from her closet that she hasn't worn in a while, and Bailey comments, "OMG, that dress is so cute." Terry wears it out that night, and at the next 3 parties they attend together, Bailey sees Terry wearing the same dress. What kind of contingency occurred for Terry wearing the old dress? What you guys think? What you guys think? All right, liking the answers coming through. You guys are good at spotting this one a mile away. Nice job, Ann, Richard, Serena. Good, nice, Tina. Yeah, Ashley looks great. Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go check this one out. This one's gonna be pretty straightforward. Positive reinforcement. So yeah, what we see here is that she wears the dress, gets the compliment on the dress, and now she wears that dress more frequently. So the compliment was added. That's our positive component. She continues to wear the dress over and over again. That's our reinforcement component. Alrighty, let's check this next one. While riding his bike, Nick keeps his phone in a holder attached to the handlebars. One day he was changing the music while riding and his phone slipped off the holder, fell onto the ground, and no longer worked. After he got his phone fixed, he now always stops his bike to change the music, and luckily hasn't broken his phone since, even though this is a lie. What contingency occurred for changing his music while riding? This is a hypothetical scenario, not a real one. I guess it's kind of real, but no, I'm just like working against the contingencies. But I think you guys would be really proud of me. I do keep a case on my phone now. This is a new thing for me, and it's purple. As a reminder, too, if you would like to get the mini mocks and the full mock, those are on a bundle deal, so you can get both for just $100. Just the mini mocks on Monday are going to go up to $100. So essentially, like, buy the mini mocks, get a full mock free. Pretty cool. Or you can get a little discount on the mini mocks. Ending tomorrow. Ooh, we're a little mixed on this one. For sure, for sure. Yeah, if you want a discount code for the full mock too, you can use UB Nerd. That gets you 20% off. Gets it down to 32 bucks. Think like quality to price content, like quality to price ratio. Pretty strong for the UB mock, 32 bucks with that discount. All right, people providing the rationales are killing it, and that looks great. Yeah, Richard as well. Good, Tina. Yeah, there you go, big fan. Good, good, good. Close down. It's actually going to be a different stimulus change we're focusing on. Good. Yeah, there you go, Lillian. Nice, Serena. Yeah, Lillian's asking an interesting question. So, like, extinction versus, like, punishment. So, like, some people think, like, extinction is, like, fully decreased, where, like, punishment is just, like, partially decreased. I don't know where that comes from. But both of these just mean decrease. So, extinction or punishment can result in decrease. Not, like, neither of them is, like, completely eliminate or versus the other. I guess they both, like, will eventually completely eliminate if they're done in the right way. But there's really not a difference there. Alrighty, let's go over this one. Best answer here is going to be D, our negative punishment. So what we have here is that we have a working phone. We change music while writing. I think you guys get enough there. And now we have no working phone. So what happened is that the working phone was removed as a result of this behavior. So reinforcer was removed. We don't like when our cool things are removed. We saw a decrease in this behavior as a result. So the removal of the stimulus, that was our negative component. The decrease in the behavior was our punishment component. So yeah, that's all we needed. Perfect. The mini-mock bundle, it comes with one mini-mock over each section. Each one is 25 questions long. And next week, there will be releasing, in addition to that, there's also 2 mixed mini-mocks. Next week, we're releasing a second mini-mock for section G, and then a third mixed mini-mock as well. So it'll be a total of 325 questions. What's also really cool about the mini mocks, I forget to keep mentioning because like there's just so many things that are cool about them. But like there's not really any filler questions. Like there's not that many like questions that are just like basic definitions that you've seen a million times. Like these are tough questions that are going to make you think, and they provide very thorough feedback on each question as well. Yeah, the big mock and the full, the mini mocks and the full mock. The mini mocks are in general a little bit more scenario based and a little bit more difficult. The full mock is more realistic towards like what the real mock exam or like what the real BCBA exam is like. But yeah, but both of them are really awesome. And yeah, my email address, if you were a winner tonight, don't try to scam me because I got your names down. But we've got understandingofbehaviorofficial@gmail.com. Send me an email and I'll hook you up with the mocks that you won. Congratulations to all our winners. Okay, I think we've got one more scenario. Then we'll do our last giveaway, and then we're going to say toodaloo for now. All right, so scenario 5, here we go. Jesse enjoys calling everyone, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube actually, and does it frequently. While his mother, he called the waitress this, and his mom removed video game access for a week. When he did the same around his dad, his father rolled his eyes. Jesse stopped calling people B words with his mom, but continues to do so around his dad. What kind of contingency occurred for Jesse calling people B words around his dad? Let's see here. Let me check up on chat here. So yeah, if you do well in the minis and then take the full, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Like the minis will help you prepare for the full exam. Then the full exam is like more like a realistic picture. Again, for the full exam, every student who has scored 80% or higher on it has passed the exam on their next attempt. We've had plenty of students pass around like 67 to the 75 range, actually like 67 and above really. It's a little bit shakier around like the 70% mark, but I'd say 70% is pretty solid. It's not something to be super scared of. But yeah, we have 100% passing rate for students above 80% on the big mock. If you're getting 80 on all the mini mocks, are you in good standing for the BCBA exam? It depends, like how much you like spent time with the feedback, and if you like memorize those questions. Like if you took the 2 attempts like back to back, or like looked at one, reviewed, and then did it again. Like I don't know if we can maintain, like we can be in like as confident of maintenance. So with the 2 attempts, I would recommend spanning out within like weeks or months. It's hard to say for the mini mocks, but I know for the big mock, first attempt, 80% and above, you're guaranteed to pass. I've got my dollars on the line there. All right, a lot of people saying positive reinforcement here. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm just going to give a hint. This one is not positive reinforcement. Yeah, the free mocks are included in that as well, and then there will be a third, or sorry, the mini mocks, and then there will be a third mini mock coming out this week. If you take a second attempt on the mini mocks, I don't think they're randomized right now, but the big mock is randomized. I think we're probably gonna switch to randomize on the mini mocks soon too, but it's been kind of nice to keep it not while we're tightening them up a little bit. Okay, so what I want you guys to think about is, a lot of people are saying like when he does this in front of his dad, like his dad rolls his eyes, but like, did this cause, like, did this maintain the behavior previously? Was it required previously? This one's tricky. I don't know if we've got a correct answer yet. Okay. Not a correct answer and a rationale yet. So yeah, the eye roll might not be as important as some of you guys are thinking. All right, some people are seeing it now. All right, yeah, let's go here. So this one is going to be F, our recovery from punishment. So yeah, a couple things I want to highlight in this one is that the behavior was occurring frequently before his dad provided this eye roll. So like the eye roll probably really wasn't that important. But we saw for sure that the removal of the video games definitely decreases behavior, because he doesn't do it around his mom anymore, but he does do it around his dad. So it's more about the lack of punishment that no longer, the lack of punishment that gets this behavior going again, rather than his dad rolling his eyes. Like it was probably like a pretty neutral reaction for him. So the no punishment with dad was more important than dad rolling his eyes, is I guess what we want to, the main point of this one. All right, Noelia just bought a mock exam as well. Thank you so much, Noelia. I appreciate your support immensely. That is amazing. I am super happy with how this stream turned out today. Thank you so much for coming to the Behavior Binge Bonanza. Let's end this with a blast here, and we'll give away one more mock exam. Let me get these out of the way for us. So yeah, we'll give away one more. Let's give away one more set of the mini mocks. You guys have exceeded my expectations in coming with all of these. So let's give away one more package of the mini mocks for mastery. We'll again do number 1 to 500. If you've already won and participated, please give it to somebody else. Or if you've already won, if you've already have these mocks, please give it to somebody else as well. But yeah, 1 to 500. Let's get some numbers. So yeah, we're giving away the mini mocks right now. And again, if you don't win this tonight, they are still on sale until tomorrow evening for this $80 intro price. If you go to BAS or study notes, the mini mock packages are twice the price. So a really good deal there. And then again, if you go to the ultimate mock bundle, you can get the full mock and the mini mocks for just $100. Pretty awesome deal. All right, let's see. So our number here, we are going to close this off. Our number is 44, which it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Stephanie Clemente is our winner. Thank you, Stephanie. I saw you've been here pretty much the whole stream, so I'm so glad that you won something. Congratulations on winning the mini mock package. Yay. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. This was an absolute blast. Thank you so much for all of your support. We got even more purchases coming through now. So I can't thank you guys enough. Again, our screen was not showing. So there's our number. Apparently I've messed everything up on my stream now, so sweet. Good thing it's ending. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. Seriously, this was an absolute blast. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying the content getting put out there. I know I've said it a million times already, but really these are awesome deals for these mock exams. Hopefully I can prove to you that I kind of know my stuff a little bit. But yeah, definitely take advantage of these deals while they are still here. I appreciate you. And yeah, yeah, thank you so much. Diana is passing her exam next week. She just doesn't need a refund, but we'll get it if she doesn't. Best of luck to everybody testing soon. And we'll do another stream next week on Thursday. We'll probably do one of these, I don't know, soonish. We'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much. If you did win a mock exam tonight, make sure to claim it by sending me your email at understandingbehaviorofficial@gmail. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the turnout today. Thank you guys so much for coming. We'll do more events like this in the future because I had a blast. My voice is dead. I'm going to go rest it. But I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your weekend. Take care, study hard, and see you soon. Bye.